Hey, welcome Gordon Freeman 64. What's up? You're the first chat of the day. Gordon takes the crown for today. Chat first, wise. What's going on, people? It's that magical time, 4 p.m. plus 1 minute, sorry. Here I come. What's up? Welcome back to the zone, everybody. Dude, JJ's got the secondest chat of all time today. And thank you so much, Dem Rupees, for subscribing. The Big 12, the 1-year benchmark. Thank you so much, Dem Rupees. Hope you're doing good. Hope Keo's doing good. Good evening. And of course, Gordon Freeman is noticing a change in the Twitch time format. Hey, why isn't this updating? I'm live, aren't I? Let me refresh this, see if it catches up. I expect to see me on screen. There I am. All right, cool. So, I got the YouTube chat open. Didn't forget about that. Dude, we're good to go. Let's 100% this bad Larry. Hope everyone's doing great. Make sure the audio levels are just totally amazing. Yeah, that seems alright. Is it louder when he jumps? Yeah, so you can let me know if it gets too loud or whatevs. But I think that's fine. Keo's doing good, wonders how I'm doing. You know, I think I'm doing pretty good. I can't say that everything's perfect. But as Doc Future says in his classic Let's Play of Sonic 2 Special Edition, the only thing we can do in this life is embrace the madness. Embrace the madness. Enjoy the craziness of everyday life. And try to collect all the collectibles in Shadow the Hedgehog Generations, which there's more than one segment during an on-screen segment during Mania today about Shadow lore and Gerald stuff. I'm going to be highlighting at least one review of Shadow Generations and giving my thoughts on it. It always pains me to see these two. I have 0 bolts. Oh no, okay, now I'm unloading them Mario Odyssey style. So this is really just a Mario Odyssey thing. And once I construct this Olimar spaceship, do they get to take me to the new DLC island?
Yes.
Yes. Wow. I love these little micro vocalizations. So I got an artwork, maybe because I hit the 20 bolt benchmark, and I wonder why it says quantity 12. Does that mean I currently have 12? Yeah, I can see 12 at the upper right. Oh, you can only give so many at a time? Okay. So maybe when I get to 40, then I'll get a new collectible. JJ likes Orbot and Cubot. They do have those good scenes in Unleashed, right? Oh no, Ergo. Is Ergo Robot different from these? I'm glad JJ likes them, though. They're in Sonic Boom, right? To bad results. Dem Rupees is seeing the similarity to the Dolphin spaceship. Looking at you, Olimar. Alright, now that we know for sure that this has good graphics. Shout out to DeFox. Was it DeFox the other day that didn't like the way that the graphics look in this game? Just to recap, I love the way this game looks. These canyons are so amazing. Now, you can sidestep using L or R, but also using the joystick. Oh, I missed a collectible, guys. But I'm just going for the S rank right now. I think I got the Sonic Frontiers buttons in my head. Keo says that Orbot and Cubot the Hedgehog are okay in the show. Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom. Yeah, Keo says Robotnik needs someone to bounce off of. Yes, and I get the sense that Sega, is very careful not to let Robotnik's sidekick outshine Robotnik himself. I mean, I've probably said this before, but when you play a game like Team Sonic Racing, well, all the characters have these cool team-up, pairs, right? You get the crazy pairing of Silver with Vector and Blaze, right? Talk about bizarre and awesome in a good way. And then when you get to Robotnik, it's just, he's got two kind of robot minions, and they're just generic. So they don't... I can at least understand that, for Eggman to have chemistry with another character, I get that that's not straightforward, and you don't want to screw it up. I honestly do think... Crap. Oh, what do I gotta Chaos Spear that man first? I got no boost, but I got CC. Does CC give you full boost? That's handy. Yeah, and as far as Eggman having someone to bounce off of, like, that's one thing I think Sonic Movie 3 was great for. Right? Team up with Sonic. Now you get the two of them talking. You got Eggman and this character walking down a hallway. Oh, you go this way, you go that way. And now you have individual pairs of characters. It was so awesome. Gotta go see that movie again. And Keo says, are you talking about Team Sonic Racing? Yeah, so in Team Sonic Racing, like, it has that great trio of Silver, Blaze, Vector. But instead of giving someone interesting on Eggman's team, it's just I don't even think it's Orbot and Cuba. I think it's just these tragic, generic minion robots. Look at this. Yasuhara taught Sonic Team to do stuff like this. And then Mario copied him. The next 3D Mario game's gotta have, like, lots of crazy set pieces. That's what will make Mario relevant again. Am I falling sideways here? This game controls so well. It's such a nice tweak up from Frontiers. Now, I was doing, a little lore, reading up, and I guess I just kind of sometimes forget and then re-remember that Black Doom contributed DNA to Shadow. I'm sorry my lore is a little rusty, but I can't remember if Gerald made Black Doom and then used the Black Doom experiment, the DNA that resulted in the form... What the hell? Of Black Doom to make Shadow. Now Keo says, wasn't Robotnik on a team with Metal Sonic and Zavok? Now that might be possible. Maybe I didn't unlock those characters? No, it couldn't be. That sounds so natural and right that he would be on a team with them. But I specifically remember being like, oh, I finally get to race Eggman, but he doesn't have anyone other than these placeholder robots with him. And that's worth looking into. My next Sonic Lore Recon session. Beautiful canyons. Yeah, who was it? DeFox that didn't like the way this game looks graphically, but I was saying, like, maybe a little brother pranked DeFox by sneaking into the graphics settings and setting them all to the lowest performance mode or whatever. He's doing the glove thing. Alright, so I need 53 more seconds faster. Alright, I won't redo it again because it would be repetitive. So let's try Act 2 with the legendary crowd-beloved 45-degree camera angle. Look how anguished he is. Is this a level where you use the cool wings? But yeah, Kyo adores the bit at the end of Murderous Sonic with Metal and Sage. Sage? Sage is in Murder of Sonic? I guess 2023 is all a big blur to me. Is that a collectible up there? Well, you gotta S-rank these levels before you can feel right going for collectibles. Hopefully activating that got me to a faster path. You guys know full well... Oh, I got another collectible. You guys know full well that Charlie XCX Moist Towelette Charlie, Penguin Zero, not only does he agree that this game is fire, but he also agrees that the new movie is fire. You know, other than the horrible jokes that are peppered in. Do I have to jump up? Yes, I do. This is badass. Alright, JJ says, it's a still image of them all waiting to surprise Sonic for a birthday party. That's cool. That's cool. I'll have to make that my channel banner or something. I get emails these days from people trying to infect me with a virus. I suspect they're like, oh, I just made this cool new Sonic channel banner for your channel. Click on it to see. I do not take unsolicited offerings of digital files. Simply do not. Badass camera angles, though. AutoYan noticed the Sonato tag. You know, I think Sonic Frontiers 2 will finally, you know, give Amy her romance arc with Shadow. Because clearly she's over Sonic these days, it would kind of seem a little. So is there only 3 collectibles? Why does it feel like I've passed lots of other collectibles? This game is so badass. What a perfect introduction for a new generation. To Shadow our Hedgehog. See the badass way the train collapsed? And then I beat the level? Nice! Gordon is the first ever commemorative Zonigan to buy the thing where you pitch a song for the hold-up zone as I get an S rank. I'm proud of me. I look forward to it, Gordon Freeman. Nice. JJ scooped up the song request. I scooped up all the collectibles in this level. And alright, Kyo, I'll let you know if I ever come up with ideas for sub-badges. And I'm sorry, I know people told me this, but what is... Is that those sub-badges, is it for like Tier 1 has a badge, and then also Tier 2 and 3 each have their own custom job? When Demrupi streamed Mario, someone made a bunch of branded graphics for you without asking. Interesting. Demrupi thinks it's design practice for them. So I admit it could be something, you know, benevolent like that, but I just figured because it coincided with my original composition reporting that at least one person in the internet community is pissed off at AY. You know, but it could be. It could be.
Let's do this.
Now that's the Bio Lizard, but... Now I can just go to skip to challenges, so... Alright, I have an S, but I would be looking for the music coin. Damn, rupees would not trust file downloads. Yeah, I would think that there's... If someone really did want to, you know, donate their time to make a custom banner like that, there's so much less fishier ways of floating the concept. So I saw the first coin was grayed out, so it's the second coin that I gotta keep an eye out for. And you know Sonic Team, they know how to place their coins in scenarios that require dynamic adaptability. I'll say. Whereas my courtesy coin can go through the lasers, just like the cool kids, just like the cool kids. Wow, that classic chaos sound effect. Now, is that... That one was grayed out. That's the only way to do this? Spam the homing attack? I wonder if you can jump around that wall. Well... I'm gonna try it again. Because I want to find... Let me know if you can see... I guess I'm looking for the music coin. And the first coin, yeah, is right up ahead. Right here. Okay. It's like a cool game of hide and seek, only with the character that uses guns in movies, still to this day. Oh, this is another path. Did I go there last time, or did I go through the grate? Now I'm in here. Maybe I didn't... Maybe I went in that tunnel both times. Because pretty soon I'm going to get to the third coin, right? Oh, I saw an upper route up there. Dude, I love Sonic games. The way that they carefully script the camera so it will reveal certain things. Like, hey, now you know that there's an upper path that you missed. Now, is there this? No, it won't let me in. So there's that coin. So let me just... Instead of going left, I'll go up. Okay, I'll jump up and over these things. Maybe this was where I didn't go. This is promising. This is a new area. Looking around for coins. Mandatory combat, man. Alright. Will that spawn the coin? No, it gave me the Fisher-Price pulley to ride up. Kia wonders, doesn't the AYZ already have a channel banner? I mean, my main channel, there we go, has a banner that kind of sucks. I should have updated it a long time ago. It's just it's a good shot of Mushroom Hill, but it's It's got the bad, the pixel filter. I admit it, it's bad. Chaos Control. Yeah, Gordon, I wouldn't fret about the song. I'll look at it when it's time. And yeah, you could always send a backup now just in case. All right. I've cleared this mission. Yeah, I agree with Keo that at this point in my content career, I can make one myself. Just one ring. Seems like I already 100%ed that one. And this is the one I just did, right? So. Doom Blast, you say. Destroy a set amount of beetles and reach the goal. I'm coming for you, Ringo. JJ says that I shouldn't worry about the pixel filter. Because if I like it, then JJ likes it. JJ used to play with that filter back when you were younger. You know, I'm sorry if I've said this a million times, but the filter that I use in the music theory videos is from Sonic 3 Air, and I don't particularly like it, but it's the lesser of 6 evils. There's like 5 or 6 different filter settings you can set, and it's just the least worst. I wish Sonic 3 Air looked like Origins, because Origins looks great. And nice. It's a second collectible. Yeah, so, you know, when I get backlash and comments because of the pixel, I understand where people come. I don't know why Sonic 3 Air, I guess the Sonic 3 Air setting that should be the best and closest to authenticness would be, I guess, sharp. But it just doesn't look good to me. I have to maybe open it on stream sometime to really get in touch with what's going on in it. Alright, so... See that thing in the background? Is that a bomb from another game? Almost looks like the little bombs in Sonic 4. Sonic 4 is a mainline game. Keo says, people comment on that? I've gotten like maybe 20 comments all time about the filter on like the Sonic 3 Air. Yeah. Sonic 3 Music Theory, 25%. And a lot of it comes down to great video, but I gotta express my disapproval about the ugly pixel smearing filter. Where's my courtesy coin? There it is. Now, I think I remember you keep the coin if you quit out of a level. All I gotta do now is get an S rank. Yeah, and Keo says, well, I guess it's engagement. Yeah, it's... I don't hold it against those commenters, and it also, you know, benefits me in terms of a stimulus package for the algorithm. Those of you who are in Obamatown in 2008, you remember the infamous stimulus package. And we had a stimulus package during COVID as well, with disastrous results to the economy. Alright, now I will get an S rank. Now, Doom Blast. How do you use Doom Blast? Is Doom Blast just that mid-air ninja move that I do to propel the enemy. I don't want to do this. I'm trying to... If I'm going backwards, I'm gonna be mad. Alright, this seems promising. Alright. Got my S rank. Return to white space. Creative name. White space. Frontiers has cyberspace. Alright, let's do a challenge mission in a different level. Oops. Well, I'll follow the whims of this musical note. Can I even collect it? Nice. Wow, look at these disturbing creatures. What are these from? Are these bosses you fight in this game that didn't stick out in my memory from the whirlwind of playing it? Challenge list, the hedgehog, quality of life, pick your mission. Alright, we already did a, let's go to, Chaos Island. I'm in the mood for that. Let's do the earliest Chaos Island level. Crossover with Doom Morph. No coins. Oh, okay. JJ says that those are, in fact, Sonic 06 robots. This is so cool. It legitimizes Frontiers, finally. As I've said. This is gameplay. Chaos Island, I'm stoked to speedrun it. How can I... Hey. Can I go back over there? Wow, 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 wow. Now, if I touch this... It won't let you rotate the camera. Okay, so I can't necessarily get back on this wall. This is a very short level. Yeah, now why... Oh, do I gotta swing all the way around it? What the hell? Come on, invisible walls, Sega? That was your solution? Can I not even get back down? Oh, it sends you down. Yeah, when did... I wonder how you're supposed to get the coin above these things. Wow, this is a first in all of Sonic. One-way invisible walls? What the hell? Where's the freedom? Where's the cream filling? Demrupi says, yeah, that invisible wall is rough. You can see the rings. The rings are like there. Yeah, Keo says that the level design in these is often, in fact, the opposite of freedom. Freedom, D-U-M-B. As Jim Jeffries would say in his capstone, cornerstone comedy special. Hey, why was the... Is it because I retried? Yeah, how can I get that? How the heck do you get above? Do I have to swing, like, totally up? Because it doesn't... You can't, like, keep swinging on it. To, like, swing 360 a la Super Metroid swinging on objects. You can swing 360 around it. Yeah, and then, so you don't have a double jump when you're mid-air as the squid. Nice. JJ recommends the new Sonic Galactic demo, and there may just may be an on-screen segment about that very game. Because, yeah, I saw that you had streamed it yesterday. But, wow, you got an hour and 40 minutes mileage out of it, just even out of the Sonic gameplay. Very cool. What is up with this? I cannot... Hey, what's up, Eblo? Splatoon mechanics for the win. You play as a squid. Play as a squid. Like, the only way I can think to get this coin, it just looks so uncool to do, that I have to wonder if I'm missing something. Yeah, what the... There's nothing intuitive. Oh, okay. JJ says there's an untold mechanic to the swinging. I'm missing something, so is that, like, an ability that I would need? That I don't have? Okay, interesting. JJ says the game doesn't communicate it except with the placement of the coin. Now, if I time this, if I jump here, so at least I can have infinite retries. But clearly this is not the way you're supposed to get it. Alright, interesting. JJ says, try letting go at a certain point instead of doing a full swing. Keo has high praise that Galactic has great visuals, and the second zone has fun mechanics. So let me try JJ's suggestion here. Let go at a certain point. And hey, what's up, the Fox? Now that, I was like, it like snapped me up. Ah! Is it Sega not? Oh, there we go. I mean, is that supposed to, like that? I don't know if that's it. If it, maybe it'll flip me up just high enough to get the coin. That was the secret, confirms Eblo. Alright, yeah, JJ says try that on it. Up top. Okay. So that... Alright, it's kind of cool, but I don't know how the average civilian would... Right? If you... Someone gonna come back at me and say, come on, Alex, you should have been able to figure that out, just like you gotta experiment to figure out the Barrel of Doom. Alex learning new tech, confirms Keo. Demrufi celebrates in the streets. Just a suboptimal route, man. Whatever. You can tell why Charlie likes this game so much. It plays really well. Get that mechanic in the bag. Alright. Really obtuse design, says JJ. Not needed to complete the game. JJ's comfy with it being an untold secret. You're gonna learn it. Yeah, or hear about it through the community. So if the Dark Souls design philosophy is now showing up in Sonic, yeah, sure. Eblo is a sucker for games that play really well. Time is at 4:35. Let's get some, Beware of pillars that pop up. You know, I've always liked Pillars gameplay. So let's just pop in to get that third of 3 coins. DeFox says this was pretty not obvious for you when you played the first time. Breaking the stained glass right off the bat. Welcome to the Sonic 06 throwback. We got these wall jump panels coming back from Sonic Colors. And I forgot to, but I was gonna maybe put JJ's tabloid bit. I love how it just cuts to black immediately. It's like, oh, we don't want little kids to see the gory details of getting crushed, so just censor immediately. Pancaked indeed, certifies Keo. Cut your losses, fade to black instantly. Did you guys hear that? That's from Special 2 Sonic Stage. What did I just say? Special 2 Sonic Stage. No, Sonic 2's Special Stage. X. That button. Right into the spikes. So it has a waiting mechanic. I love how Shadow goes to the side. My gorsh. Is this an alternate route I could have come from? No. I hit Y instead of X to bad results. Oh, Mania's gonna have good graphics today. In part thanks to a CRT filter that comes included with the guide. Looking. Oh, there's the coin. See, because it cuts to black, you never learn your lesson. Nice, Third Bruno. Thank you much. Thank you so much for subscribing, dude. A whole year, and at tier 3, no less. Thank you so much, Third Bruno. Can't thank you enough. And of course, Third Bruno was the person who gave me this very game. Third Bruno said, did my try text not go through? Let me see. What's the try text? Yeah, Demrupi says it's a soprano style, screen to black. JJ thought about sharing it, but you don't know how risque the humor... Yeah, because, like, the trigger bit. The trigger, that's in the Beatles... which song is it? Happiness is a Warm Gun. So if the Beatles sang it, it's kind of all set for the Bluey audience. Silly Shadow. Silly Shadow. Guns are for kids. I don't know what I'm saying, but at least some of you remember the tricks are for kids. Advertisements on broadcast television. Now, Keo says, if you got pancaked in real life, it would also cut to black immediately. That's one theory, but a lot of people think that if you get crushed, you're instantly transported to paradise. Yeah, JJ says when we were talking about the Beatles, that was in regards to the tabloid bit. Yeah, sorry I got confused. I still don't know what Third Bruno's try text was. Unless TRY is a pun on Try 3, because Third Bruno has a Tier 3 subscription so generously. That's a triple cost subscription. It's what I like to call a zone supporter, helping to keep the zone alive. Alright, I gotta jump. No. Ooh, I almost got Sopranos. DeFox says, Squish Death, Black Cut. I just don't remember an abrupt cut to black in any other Sonic games. Alright, I got the coin. Now I just gotta get an S rank. Which one was it? Oh wait, I have an S in this. Did I already get an S on the previous take? Previous try? Alright, let me just try to get an S on something I haven't S'd. Is that Chaos Control? Alright, destroy the cyclones? Let's do it, man.
This is the ultimate power.
Did I need to have done that?
All right. Freeze.
What on earth? Oh, this is the... Well, there's a coin. But I'm only here to S rank. We don't have time for... Well, I could get the coin. Wow. Plowing through. Writing my own rules. Breaking the rules as I write them. This is a jazz platformer with free-forming possibility. At least I succeeded. D. Let me get that S rank. Okay, it's just that I need to destroy cyclones. And I feel like I can get most of them right off the bat. Yeah, they're all in your way, so... Come on, dude. How am I... Well, you don't really need to think about the cyclones, because they're all just naturally in your path. I wonder if this is set... I can't remember if this is set up like Sonic Riders, where there's a vanilla goal of 20, but then there's, you know, harder achievements to undo. Undo. Do. Vector Sater's in the house. Welcome, Vector. I got my S. It's just in time for Sonic Mania. So, we're going to have segments on screen. It's going to be fire. And it's going to be a versus wager against JJ for points. So, grab your drinks and pretzels, because it's almost primetime showtime. Not that this wasn't primetime, but, you know, it's the opening prelude. So I'll be back soon, everybody, for some Sonic Mania with on-screen segments goodness. Be back soon. Hey there, everybody. JJ has an idea to generate excitement stats. So let me read that as soon as I return. Enjoy the comfort zone, everybody, in the meantime. Ooh, JJ's got pinball gameplay. Nice. With that amazing song. Whoops. Come on. Gordon's back. Alright, so today's performance of Sonic Mania is Alex vs. JJ in the second half of the game. So, who will get more points? Alex or JJ? Gonna have a full half hour to bet, so soak in all the intel in that first set of 30 minutes. Because 30 minutes have begun right now. Alright, so let me open a file. Playing as just a hedgehog today. Go to debug mode. You know, does that happen to you, JJ? Does that level select code work only 50% of the time? I swear to God, when I think I figure it out, and then it doesn't work anymore. The next time, game options, go to debug, hit V, and then maybe you have to keep holding the button, because that's what I just did and it worked. But okay. Everyone's favorite Hydro City. Interesting that this game does not put the space, because Generations does, I believe, doesn't it? Okay, JJ says on Switch it's minus plus Y plus A. Okay, yeah, because I press Y... No, sorry. Hold X, tap A. So maybe the trick is just keep holding X as it loads. But alright, let's start the festivities. I will go ahead and update the stream category, and then we'll be good to go. Sonic Mania. Hey, how you doing, Jack Griffith? Sonic Mania. Good game. Playing, I don't know when the last time we played Hydro City Mania here on stream. But that's updated now. And we're about to begin. Hey, what's up, Javid? Welcome to the zone. Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Mania. Yeah, baby. Come and get your orchestra hits. They give you a bubble at the start of the level. What's the point of that? They got rid of the button to open that tunnel, as well as the 10-ring monitor on the floor. Mania's Hydrocity, with the creative philosophy of Hydro City is a fan-favorite level in Sonic 3, but it doesn't have enough water elements. So let's fix that by doing a tribute to every 8-bit water level. Now, is that stream frozen? Is the stream frozen for any... I really don't know why the monitor is freezing time and again. I assume that if it was actually freezing on your guys' end, that it would... someone would say something. So I will assume that it's not freezing on your end. Sorry if it did. Using that D-pad in a way that you simply just can't. Playing as classic Sonic and Sonic Generations 24 takes hit, starts to lose a cool bonus. Alright, cool. Sounds like that freezing issue is only happening on my end on the monitor. And it's the reason we're all here, to just wait around on boats. And I might put on the first on-screen segment before I even get to the end of this act. Blink. Alright, let's introduce the water mechanics. Gordon says Discord voice is working. Am I transmitting my voice on Discord? I suppose that's unnecessary to carry over from the other day. What the... Now, Keo points out that this version of Hydrocity doesn't even have the 3D reminiscent water surface. Yeah, you're right. Even the Sega Genesis game has the perspective of, you know, the surface of the water, giving an illusion of, like, depth and going into the horizon. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you mean, Sam. Is my voice transmitting on Discord? Alright, as soon as something annoying happens in this level, then I'll bring up the first on-screen segment. Don't touch any fans. These bubbles run out. Or are they in it for the long haul? To just wait around on boats? Okay, Alex bonus. Yeah, that's not my Mac. That's my streaming PC. Yeah, I'll deactivate voice after this level. What will happen first? An annoying level design moment? Or... at the end of the level. Either way, you're gonna get an on-screen bit, and then lots more after the first one. 69 rings, feeling good. Cool bonuses at 9 to commemorate that. Oh, was close. Spin dashing without knowing where I'm going. It's a risky endeavor. Alright, deflect those projectiles. Now, I think a bubble shield deflecting projectiles like that is not in the original game, question mark, but it is in Sonic 3 Air. I think that's... I don't know if you would call that a quality of life feature that they added to Sonic 3 Air. Where now pellets like that will bounce off a hedgehog's shield. Hey, look, it's the antagonist. Doo-doo-doo-doo. So yeah, maybe if I get to the boss, I'll put on the first segmento. That's the word in Spanish, right? Like the movie Bruce Almighty in Spanish is called Como Diaz. I say that horribly. Alright, mini-boss. Let's bring on the first on-screen segment. Sonic in the Oscars. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? So Sonic 3 is a major motion picture, which by all appearances would be eligible for an Oscar. But at the very least, it is not eligible to be Best Picture. And I can't get concrete info on... Like, I keep hearing people say, oh, well, Sonic Movie 3 is ineligible for Best Picture. But I would then expect people to say, oh, but it is eligible for, you know, Best Soundtrack, Best Technical Special Effects, Costume, whatever else. I have not been able to find any info on that. But on the surface... Oh, yeah, I gotta get Eggy. Okay, I guess Madam Web is also ineligible for Best Picture. I missed. Bomb gonna catch up to him? I chickened out at the last second. This is one of the most memorable bosses. But yeah, when you look at the rules for how a movie becomes eligible for Best Picture, one little blurb lists that, you know, it's got to come out... Whoops. It's got to come out in at least 6, like, major cities that they decide. And it has to run for, like, 7 continuous days. And people are looking at this, and... They're saying, hey, Sonic Movie 3 meets all these parameters. Why is it not eligible? So, again, I'm really annoyed that the answer to this is not straightforward. But people are saying that maybe one of the reasons why it's ineligible is because it does not meet the newly instated diversity and inclusion standards. That algorithm where they look at the total makeup of the cast racially, and they say, if you have too many white people, you're not welcome here. JJ says the bullet deflect thing was in the OG. Wow, why do I have that info in my head that it was added for, or that it wasn't in the original? Wow, on a native Genesis? Damn, I missed the cool kids route. The things get deflected. Now, Serious Sam 64 is hoping that The Lion King doesn't get nominated for... I don't think that would get nominated for Best Picture. Because for that to happen, some people would need to like the movie. Ah, okay. Kyo says the 3D water is here. That's right. Interesting that they did it in Act 2, but not 1. Who knows? Maybe the original game is that way. But I would have thought that it had that effect in both acts. So yeah, I don't know if Madam Web has a diversity problem. Or if it's just Madam Web bad. Oh boy. Madam Web bad. Dude, I cannot tell a lie. I have to tell the truth. When they first announced Madam Web, I had no idea what it was. I just watched the trailer, you know, cold, not knowing necessarily that it was... I figured it had something to do with Marvel because it had web in the title and it was, I believe, Sony. But I cannot tell a lie. I watched the trailer and I was like, this looks not horrible. Like, if I got roped into seeing Madam Web on a date, going into the theater, I wouldn't be, you know, upset about it. I would be like, this looks like it could be half alright, half tolerable. However, I'm Alex Yard, and it's not just me, Alex Yard, saying it. Everyone seems to call, even Austin McConnell himself, one of the YouTube darlings. He's one of those YouTubers that is not successful as a filmmaker, but he is successful as a YouTuber making content about how unsuccessful he is. And Mary Spender is kind of the music industry equivalent of that. She's like a struggling musician who struggles at musician career elements, but has a massive following of YouTube subscribers that watch her videos by the hundreds of thousands and say, oh, look how bad, you know, the major label industry is structured. It's really impossible and unfair for artists. And like it is, but the world doesn't owe you a living to write singer-songwriter songs where you're playing guitar and singing like everyone else that came before you. Eblo's got the J. Washington, G. Washington pull quote. Gordon's a big Spider-Man fan, but did you like Madam Web? Keo says I was beaten, defeated by a barrel, and it isn't even the Carnival Night one. Yeah, when I was I kept failing on these Roman barrels. They're like a Roman column, but a barrel. It was because, the reason why you saw me miss that jump so many times was because I was nervous about the SRB2 cart sharks that were flying by. And I noticed that they kept flying by. Like, I guess I thought it was standard practice in Sonic games where you get to a spot, it triggers the Badnik, but then, from then on, it's like a one-time thing. They're not supposed to keep showing up. At least I don't think they do that in Sonic 1, 2, 3, or CD. I'm pretty sure that they do in Origins Sonic 1, because the point where it's always the most notable, 3D Water, is when I play Origins Sonic 1 and I get to Spring Yard Zone, there's a spot where there's a row of springs down below that bounces you up, and then as you're going up, there's one of those purple spike badniks walking toward you. And literally every time you bounce up, it resets its position. It's so, inorganic and contrived. Badniks are supposed to have at least some form of badnik impermanence. Almost took a hit there unnecessarily. And I gotta be really careful on the mini-boss, because I mess it up a lot. And I couldn't even tell you exactly what I keep doing wrong. Why did that bubble disappear? I'm supposed to get it included for my efforts. Tonic, minor second. If I fucking drown, I'm gonna drown. I'm very upset with the game because those bubbles are supposed to be freebies. And there were 2 of them that disappeared in a row. How many points does JJ have, man? Seriously, right? That wipes out my cool bonus. Um... Eblo's learning about Spider-Man, which is just in time for the next segment. Alright, so there's Gerald. And I wanted to ask a question about Gerald, as I have no rings. The question I have is not so much about movie Gerald, but it is about Gerald in general, you know, from SA2 primarily. I'm so mad those bubbles despawned. I had 188 rings, most of my cool bonus. So my question is, for the real Gerald in the games, why did he go crazy? Why did Gerald Robotnik go insane? First, I wanted to ask you guys, before explaining what my understanding of why did Gerald go cray, as the kids will say. That was dumb, but I had nothing to lose. And we'll dance around till the world ends, won't we, Brittany? Da, da, da. Ooh, I bet you JJ's typing about Gerald. Eblo says we barely see a living Gerald, so it's hard to say. Eblo imagines communing with an alien god that was not good for his mental health. That would check out. Yeah, and JJ says there's a multitude of reasons in your headcanon. So the reason I ask is because I wanted to know, I was thinking of maybe tweeting about it, but before I tweet about it, I want to make sure I understand. Because when I did... look at Knuckles and his posture and his dreadlocks waving around in this high-speed wind scenario. I'm so mad about the bubbles. Okay, so when I did some quick Google searching about why or how did Gerald Robotnik go insane, the main thing that I found, again, in those quick cursory searches, was that it was after Maria died, and he was really upset. Not just that Maria died, but also that his experiments were partly responsible for Maria's death. Eblo says, what Knuckles? Oh, is this actually a Phantom Knuckles, like in Triple Trouble 16, where it's Metal Sonic in disguise? Spoilers for Triple Trouble 16, but it came out so many months ago. Brah, brah, brah. But yeah, I'm wondering if JJ, you know, I know JJ's playing, so don't pause the game to type again, but I thought I remembered Vector Sater or someone saying that partly one reason why he lost his mental stability was because of all the horrific things he witnessed in his experiments. Wow, JJ's plane is crashing. Maybe I'll win the game after all. I'm just kidding. It's a scripted plane crash. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Look at Eggs. He's got his hat. This is such a meta game. Oh, I'm riding a train. Look at me. I got the conductor hat and everything. I'm not going to go to a special stage, but I could. No, there's no special stages in this wager. Alright, Vector didn't say anything like that. So what am I thinking of? Alright, Vector said he only went insane because of Maria dying. Alright, then I guess I can't tweet about what I was... Unless some of JJ's headcanons align with what I was going to tweet about Gerald the Hedgehog. God damn. I'm going to get 1,000 points I shouldn't get. I'm sorry, JJ. I want to get rid of the shield too. Gonna take away 1,000 points. Very annoying. Vector says in the games, it's from insane guilt and stress. But in the film, you have no... Yeah, is the film... does the film even have Gerald go crazy or unstable at all? Because well, I won't... maybe I shouldn't spoil anything. Yeah, so Eblo also points out the licking chaos-empowered quills for 50 years was also probably not good for mental health. Especially now that I know, as my voice cracks, that Shadow has Black Doom DNA in part. Bah, bah. Okay, interesting. Vector says that the journals in Shadow Generations do comment on and elaborate on his mental state during the project. About that, I think brings us to our next on-screen segment, which I will initiate as soon as I beat this boss. And then start the next level. Yeah, Vector says the film does not show him going insane. He just is. You're meant to read between the lines. I guess, like, by insane, I mean, like, you've just lost it. Like, Gerald in the movie really hasn't lost his composure, his frame of mind. You know, he's a fully participating agent rather than just going off the rail. Insane, I think, like rambling about nonsense, incoherent communication. Eblo wonders, when did Alex Yard go insane? Why? Because I don't like Spider-Man? Alright, so here's the next thing. This. Many of you hopefully have seen this before. So, the micro trivia is... Who are we looking at? These faces look generally familiar, don't they? Okay, let's see here. I got to... Yeah, I'll just mute myself on Discord. Come on, Alex, find the right window is all. There it is. Alright, went ahead and muted me. And bring that window back. Vector says, one would argue... Hey, what's up, Disco Pants Studios? Loving them trains. Say yes to Thomas the Tank Trains. Vector says, one would argue how well he matches Eggman's freak. He's pretty insane in the film. It's just hard to notice because Jim Carrey's performance is always in that mode. Wow, Vector says... He even straight up admits in a throwaway line, oh, we're playing for marbles? I lost all mine a long time ago. That's in the... I totally forgot about that. That's funny. Keo wonders, is this a Sonic comic thing? No, so this is actually from Gerald's journal, which I think maybe comes with the Hyper Deluxe version of Shadow Generations. And so I was listening... There's a fair few YouTube videos detailing the contents of these Gerald journals. And so what we're looking at in this picture, I might not have the exact details right, but that is Gerald in the middle, right next to, I believe, two of his sons. Okay? One of which is Eggman's dad, and the other of which is, of course, Maria's dad. So that's like a pretty... Now, the thing is, and I'm going to show you in the next on-screen segment. Whoops. JJ says this story is collectible in the game, too. So, yeah, Keo says Kyo says, surely it can't be Robotnik's father, but I believe it is. And I think the YouTube video that I watched asserted that the guy on the right is Ivo Robotnik's father, and the guy on the left is Maria's father. But I think this person... what the... Would you... Pianos. Uh-oh. No. Wow, Gordon says the current betting is 10K versus 70,000. 70,000 on a JJ. How about that? Now, JJ says this story is collectible in the game, too. Wait, there's collectible coins in the game that unlock story details? So, alright, I'll show the next thing. If we're looking at a picture of Gerald's two sons, well, their names are unknown. Which I think is really funny and awesome that Sega would, acknowledge these two sons, which is, most certainly, I would think, pertaining to the lineage and ancestry of both Ivo and Maria. However, oh god. More spikies here. Yeah. I can also understand why Sega would not want to give them names. It's just too much... What's the word? You come up with a name for an important indirect character like that, and now you got fanfics cropping up. Oh god. Why am I taking a hit when it's landing? I already hit it to weaken it. I should not take damage, Sega. Oh man, this boss is always a disaster. Oh, okay. Vector says... Oh, I'm so bad at this. Vector says that all that info is in the game. So is the Shadow Gens Digital Deluxe just kind of a repackaging of subject matter art? Yeah, JJ says you can read Gerald's diary in-game. Keo says, me losing to Bark is canon from when I got my ears whooped in Sonic the Fighters. That Bark there doesn't just bark, he bites. Good night, everybody. Wow, JJ took 10 million hits on that boss. I didn't see if I got much of a cool bonus. I guess I had a, I don't know, 5,000 cool bonus. Yeah, so Disco Pants forgot Gerald was his grandpa, not his father. And yes, Disco Pants, I am playing for points right now. Specifically against JJ, whose screen you can see at the upper right. Let's see how many points JJ has. So he's now at about 94. And I have 54. I think he's in what? Starting Act 2, so I am way behind, and I am so incredibly about the despawning bubbles in the Hydrocity boss. I never saw that before. You're supposed to get those bubbles passively. They're supposed to scoop right into your mouth, just like when you were a baby eating food, and it was like, open up, here comes the choo-choo train. That's what's supposed to happen with the bubbles in that Hydro City contrived underwater tunnel boss. DeFox says that the Mania boss is disappointed when it came to taking a no-hit challenge. Classic Games has better boss design. I mean, and that's... There's definitely something... That... Certainly that boss is a nightmare to try and no-hit. But I don't know, I'm trying to think of some other bosses, and I think they're pretty fair. I'm trying to think of another fairly cheap boss in terms of trying to beat it with no hits. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Come get your oil, as well as rings. The Oil Ocean bosses are pretty much fine. As badly designed as the first one is, not for cheapness, but for gameplay, memorability, admirability, quality. It's really just garbage. It makes you wonder how much of Sonic C-Dub understand. I mean, look, bosses are not the main event of a Sonic game. The bosses in this game are much weaker than those on offer in Super Metroid. Vector says, every boss can be no damaged with patience. The bosses in Mania are particularly time-wasting, though. Well, I feel that the boss of Mirage Saloon, where it's transforming into Bark Bear in them, I feel like patience in that boss is a liability, because by waiting around for so long, you have so many dangers to dodge. You know, and I totally agree with that sentiment for something like the Oil Ocean Act 2 boss coming up. And I think that Cybershell says that directly in his classical video kind of review of Sonic Mania. He's like, this Oil Ocean 2 Mania boss was giving a lot of people trouble when the game first came out, but oh no! However, I believe that Cybershell used the specific word patience when it came to hey, thank you, Wonder Woman, for the 34 bits. I could use 34 bits. How's it going, Wonder Woman? Welcome. You'll be pleased to know that JJ is wildly ahead of me in terms of score points. Javid says, enjoy the points, everyone. Looks like that 70,000 could be dispersed. Wonder Woman is entertained. Which is just in time for the next on-screen segment. This. Sonic 4, let's talk about its current stock value. Because look, there was at least one person, which was Javid, that was like, that we're good on Sonic 4 for a full year, right, Alex? And look, I totally appreciate Javid saying that. You know, I can't promise that just Javid's comment is going to make me ban Sonic 4 for a year, but I will say that I appreciate Javid saying it's something to think about. If I know that Sonic 4 is a deal breaker for some, then I'm glad that Javid said it, because it's the kind of thing that might influence me, at least from making it, you know, a primetime streaming block. The way that it was 2 days ago. Vector is certifying the massive disappointment. So yeah, and you know, oh, Wonder Woman is just leaving, but just wanted to pop in. Have a good rest of your night, Wonder Woman. Albeit without JJ. Disco Pants would buy the rights to Sonic 4 Episode 2 if you could. Why? You want to buy the rights to it now? So that when they re-release it in Sonic 4 Episode 1 and 2 Legacy Collection Reignited, you'll get some kickback royalties. Hey, fan, I didn't ask for me to be stopped. So yeah, I appreciate Javid speaking up about it. And any of you are welcome to speak up about, you know, a game you really don't want to see. But the fact is, Sonic 4 is a mainline game. Alright, I need to focus on this stupid boss. I'm so goddamn nervous. Oh my god. I just... Here comes the smog. Yeah, so for what it's worth, JJ likes Sonic 4 Episode 2. So yeah, another reason why Sonic 4 is canonical and I'm kind of obligated to stream it from time to time is because, like it or not, Sonic 4's legacy lives. Like, Sonic 4... It would be one thing if Sonic 4 was just a flash in the pan that Sega didn't want to acknowledge anymore. But there's a lot to consider on the other side of that. Because, what was I going to say? I'm seeing Javid's comment now. He says, Alex, if you get joy out of Sonic 4, stream it all you want. You were just joking about the mandatory seminar aspect. So you'd be more amenable to the, like a regular stream. I don't even know what a regular stream of Sonic 4 is, because Sonic 4 doesn't have the typical score system. It only tracks your score for an individual level, the way 3D World is. And it's not that Sonic 4 even gives me joy per se. It has lots of problems, but as an unavoidable slice of Sonic history. So, like I was saying, Sonic 4, one thing you can say is that it's still available to buy on Steam. Like, as you guys know, Sega delisted a whole lot of stuff, and I think they even overtly acknowledged that the reason they did that was to ensure quality control. They sort of half acknowledged that, yeah, we want to delist games that are not helping Sonic's reputation or don't live up to whatever it was. They acknowledged it was a quality issue. So despite that, Sonic 4, as of right now, 2K25, is just available to buy on Steam. Still, I don't think they delisted it. But the other thing is that Sonic 4 has an influential influence on the influences of games that came after it, such as Sonic Superstars. Right? Sonic Superstars triples down at times on Sonic 4 music and even aesthetics. And so, yeah, you know, playing it always kind of has the fun novelty of playing Sonic 4 live on the air, knowing that Sabershell made his classical Why Sonic 4 Sucks video. That just kind of lends a novelty to the experience. Maybe I'm the only one who enjoys that experience novelty. Oh god. Disco Pants says Sonic 4, of course, just Disco Pants wants to add a trick system to Sonic 4 to help it. And also, you're not on board with White Park Act 3. Is that the one with the snowboard? Looking at what Vector said. Vector's take, and I'm sorry I can't read it all aloud, but Episode 1's boss and level design is a bit more engaging, but it looks and sounds like A's. Episode 2 looks great, sounds decent, but the abilities are pace-breaking nonsense, and the bosses are trash. Yeah, man, my biggest... When did I lose all my rings? I had 80. Who knows in this life? I'm sure there's a perfectly rational explanation. Now, do you die when you have 0, or is it just... Alright, it doesn't kill you. You just have no rings. I don't think I was in the poison for 80 rings. I must have lost my rings and forgot. But that's enough to commemorate the next on-screen segment. This, Sonic Galactic. So we touched upon it before. I didn't have anything specific to report about this yet, other than it's the talk of the town, and JJ did stream it yesterday, I believe, to enjoyable results. I'm seeing a whole lot of characters in that artwork right there. including Fang, and then at first I thought that the other might be Trip, but I don't think it is. I'm really hoping Trip gets embraced by, I don't know, the fan community, fan games, fanfics, all of that. Alright, Vector specifies that that character off to the right is, of course, Tunnel the Mole. Tunnel, I love that. I imagine if there was a kid in my class in 4th grade whose first name was Tunnel. Tunnel sounds like the first name of a South Park character. Butters, Token, and Tunnel. Oh god. Smog gonna clear as a global warming metaphor. Yeah, Javid doubts anyone wants a regular stream of Sonic 4. However, it's more just that Javid is okay with whenever you choose to stream it, and I appreciate that. And again, me saying that, it's definitely not, you know, giving you a hard time or explain yourself. Quite the opposite. I understand that it's a cringe fest for many, and I also don't. It's not that I really like the game, but as an essential Sonic entry, I say essential, it's for better or worse. I mean, you guys know how much I like Sonic 3, so I have to report on Sonic 4 no matter how bad things get. Alright, so given that there's... Oh, Disco Pants says, Galactic is too legendary to run on your personal computer. Does it have some of the GTA 6 functionality of impressive light shading? Now, the mistake I was just making was holding the button. I should have let go of the button so I didn't bounce up as high and I could chain more hits faster. But hey, at least I kept a cool bonus of 0. Did I die? Did I take 10 hits? It had to have been one or the other, guys. So let's barrel into our next on-screen bit. Alright. So this was following up on what we were talking about with EB. I don't know if EB's not here yet. Maybe not. So I don't know. If EB's not here, maybe I'll circle back to that. I just thought of an interesting layer to the discussion we were having about game-breaking stuff. Now my cool bonus is down to 9. So yeah, maybe I'll save this bit, this attention-grabbing, wildly confusing image, for when EB should join us later, in the event that he does. And by the way, today after stream is the patron-only stream where I am going to reveal more than one project on the horizon for 2025. So if you're a patron, you'll be able to see that live, or just check out the VOD afterwards. So that's going down tonight. And then we'll do a music theory video commentary, which I believe Stardust Speedway is now eligible, possibly? Because Stardust Speedway came out right at the beginning of the year. Because I think it was supposed to come out at the holidays, and things went awry. We had some controversies and zone exits around that time. It was a busy time, so it didn't get out. It didn't get out before the end of the year. But it's funny. The Metallic Madness video, right? I was on a crusade to, you know... It was almost like I wanted to atone for the fact that the Stardust Speedway didn't come out on time for the holidays. So at the beginning of November, I was like, listen guys, new Sonic CD video, coming this Christmas Eve. No bullcrap. And I did it. I did it, and I'm very happy that I did. Finished the production cycle on time. Gordon Freeman says, see you then as well. Gordon's going to join us for the totally unprecedented slew of announcements. Honestly, this set of announcements, depending on the person, you know, it might feel like, remember when Sega put out the trailer with the new Jet Set Radio, the Shinobi, the Golden Axe in 3D, like, it's gonna feel crazy like that, because typically you'd only announce really one video at a time, two at most. God, I'm so bad at this game. You know, it's really irritating me that it keeps freezing on my end, the monitor. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't know if I gotta start to use a new browser. I don't know, I got a shield that I'm gonna have to lose. With the cool bonus in the meantime, it's a whole thing. Is that all a hidden area? But yeah, Disco Pants had said... Oh no, I already read that. Galactic won't run on your PC. Does it have infinite parallax or something? Alright, but since EB isn't here for the Hadron Particle Accelerator, Sonic and Knuckles, let's go to the next thing. Alright, so this was just kind of a funny thing that was happening. I wanted to mention it for fun. And I had tweeted this. So I was, I got a reply to a comment I had left on a Sopranos video. Alright, and my comment on the Sopranos video was nothing special. I was just, and I covered the swear, I was just commenting on a Sopranos video about a part that was really funny. And you want to know how it was definitely funny? 180 people clicked thumbs up on my comment. Okay? But the reason why I brought it here is because if you see the comment under my comment, someone saw what I had said on that Sopranos video and was like, oh, you're here. Any chance we could get Sopranos analysis then? Right? Whimsically asked, well, wouldn't that be funny if there was Alex Yard content about the Sopranos? So I replied to him and said, do I have news for you? Check out my second channel. Well, then things got weird. I didn't get a response from that person, which that in itself is fine, but, you know, given that they had explicitly asked about me possibly doing Sopranos content, I was like, well, I'm curious to see the reaction once they do see the video. So I went back to see the comment, and when I returned to that comment thread, my reply was gone. My reply was totally gone. Okay? So I left another comment being like, maybe there was a glitch, right? I'm trying to give benefit of the doubt. Maybe somehow the comment just got, I don't know, deleted, who knows. But then my second comment got deleted. So now I start to think, alright, what's happening here? Let me now try and brainstorm. Okay, so if I think about this, right, one possibility, and yes, there, Bruno, I can see your, chat message now. So I think you're, in good shape with chat functionality. So yeah, naturally my mind started conspiracy theorizing that the uploader of that Sopranos video doesn't want people to see my video because it's competition. You know, and all I was really doing was answering the person's questions, saying, hey, any chance of Sopranos analysis? It's not like shameless spam self-promotion. I'm just answering the person's question. Like, hey, yep, I do have an hour-long deep dive on the Sopranos. Here's how to find it. But the other thing I was thinking is that it might have something to do with YouTube's automated way of filtering comments. Like, maybe it filters out certain I could totally understand if it would filter out comments that have to be approved, if it has a link in it. But I didn't put a link. And then I'm thinking to myself, was there a keyword I used that's kind of filtered out as spam? Was it because I used the word channel or search? Oh my... You can't... You have to hit... Yeah, so I left a few comments experimenting. So Gordon says it's the YouTube AI bots. But at that point, I have to wonder... What did I say that triggered the AI bots? Like, is it possible that the AI bots are trained to detect the... Right? Rather than, like, specific words, right? Keywords or phrases. Maybe it's just... reading your language and trying to if you are trying to point someone else to another slice of content, maybe that's considered spam. So it makes a guy wonder. See how I avoided that bad. Actually, Gordon, just as a micro experiment, could you say something in chat, Gordon? I want to see if, although my monitor keeps freezing, I just want to know that chat is not frozen. Alright, thank you, Gordon. I can see you said hi. So, as long as I can see the chat, I don't really care. But I can see JJ's frozen frame at Metallic Madness, where I am not. Ghost of Burb, how do you do, Ghost of Burb? Welcome to Lava Reef, rehydrated. Because it's all cooled down. And because at least someone that worked on the team that made this game went on to procreate and have children that liked SpongeBob, so it worked out. Ghost of Burb fell asleep rather early. So is this right now your wake-up time? Ghost of Burb is only going to be with us for a brief while. Why does this feel wrong? Am I going the wrong way? I don't remember this area. Oh, I almost got crushed. I'm so bad. Ghost of Burb's having a weird day. I know the feeling, Ghost of Burb. But I hope you have a good rest of your R&R. Everything's felt off, but I'm glad you got to pop in to extend a hello. And I think I had an on-screen segment about awesome games done quick. Because you mentioned it that you were almost gonna go, but didn't end up going this time. Yeah, I guess I never felt super compelled to watch AGDQ, but maybe I just haven't found the right streamer. And I was gonna ask Ghost of Burb which streamer you were thinking of going to see, you know? Is it a Sonic streamer? Delta Hedgehog or something else? Oh, okay. Ghost of Burb watches people that... Alright, so you know this person, you know, outside of the content space. That was cool. If automated and Rube Goldberg-y. Knuckles can go in there. Not a blue hedgehog. 44 rings. It's not a lot. So let's get the next segment. The next segment might even be the game's done quick. Oh, I see what you mean. So it's not that Ghost of Burb knows this streamer, you know, IRL. Just that it's a streamer that you already followed. So that's like you don't go to games done quick and let me see who's streaming this or that. It's like you go for a specific home slice. Yeah, let's see if the next bit was games done quick. No, it's not. What it is this video that I just wanted to mention to you guys as a goof. Just to let you know, it's a video where they talk about the Prince melody in Chemical Plant Zone. And they're asking... So, you know, it's so fascinating, right? As someone who's done reporting on original compositions that are presented as original, but actually they're not, it's so incredibly interesting to hear other people talk about the topic and not just to see what their opinion is, but also, in the first place, just what language, what terms are they using to describe a situation like this? So, I'm using the shield. Hey, it's JJ's confetti. You little... Get the fire shield. Yeah, so what this video, it's looking at, you know, Chemical Plant in Sonic 2. And the way that this words it is to say, was Prince Nelson the composer of Chemical Plant? And by the way, this is an awful video title because it buries the topic deep in the title that's going to get cut off. Right? The start of the title is, oh, this is Sarah and Connor's podcast. But anyway. So, I think in the video they just play back the two clips. If anyone doesn't know, Chemical Plant contains a lick that, for my money, very clearly seems to be taken from Prince's song called Glam Slam. And the riff that's used is not even the main riff of Glam Slam, but it is a riff that you hear on measure 1 of a section. It's kind of like a solo. It's kind of like a solo. Right? Going to the supertonic on that very specific subdivision of the beat. I guess it's the of 2. Whatever it ends up being. Whoops. Yay. So JJ... Wow, JJ thought Metropolis ripped off Prince? Dude. Oh, that's... is there another case study that I'm not aware of? Wow, Metropolis. That I did not know. Alright, JJ thinks the song is called Jump or something. I'll have to look into that. Meanwhile, Third Bruno is watching Rouge the Bat play Kingdom Hearts games. There's a streamer who's just named Rouge the Bat. What is that about? Third Bruno thinks... Oh, it's this level that I did a music theory video about. Wait, that video came out, right? I'm not spoiling it prematurely? No, it came out, and it was great. Yeah, Rouge the Bat. Did someone mod Kingdom Hearts so you can play as Rouge? Yeah, on the topic of title length, that's definitely something Third Bruno has been thinking about when titling the videos. Does this not launch you up like the OG game? But Third Bruno doesn't have a second video in the Million Point Saga quest yet. That will be tomorrow, in fact. But yeah, JJ says the song is called Jump by Prince that rubbed off on Metropolis. Diminished. Let me refresh my end. Well, it's updated in there. No, it's not as good to see. Sorry, I'm saying behind the scenes things out loud in a way that I shouldn't. JJ will be right back. All right. Alright, so I'll wait till JJ gets back. Not that JJ is definitely needed to weigh in on the music thing, but I just want to articulate my impressions on, you know, what is a pretty solid but quick, mostly informal video. You know, and the title is also very confusing in the way that it makes it seem like that's the first video in a series that's looking into Prince's presence in Sonic music. But I think that's just really means their podcast. JJ's at the Monarch, though. I'm certainly not. Hey, it's the Ghostbusters spot. Wow, and it's the same spot. Dun, 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 right here, dun, dun, and then the Dorian door, you go through, the door opens, good night everybody, and then you see this thing, just like the Quartz Quadrant thingamajig. Diagonal spring, very devious. No peel out in this game, huh? But yes, 10-ring monitors. Is there a way to go down here? What if I just went down here? I don't remember this. I don't think I come down here all that much. Probably could have spun dashed. Alright, JJ's back. So, as I'm listening to this mini discussion in this video about Glam Slam and Chemical Plant. So, like I was saying, the language that they use is itself an interesting thing to consider. So after they play the two clips, and the way they preface it and then discuss it after the clip is in terms of like, oh, you listen to Prince's Glam Slam and then Chemical Plant, it seems like they have the same feel, right? Using that word, feel. And in my opinion, that's not nearly precise enough. You can compare the similarities between two songs with a much more concrete criteria than feel. It's basically like you're comparing a sentence. You're putting two sentences side by side and you're saying, does the overall idea match? Yes or no? But then also, does the literal words match up? You know, using the super tonic at this exact moment after a certain amount of tonic activity. Stuff like that. So, like, you know, if I was hanging out with them, I would say, well, this doesn't come down to, like, a vague feeling. We can actually quantify it very specifically to kind of cut down on any hurt feelings. You know, rather than say, oh, no, I don't agree, this doesn't feel the same. Because feel, as I talk about in the past, you can dramatically reinvent a composition by changing the feel, but I think that's lost on a lot of people. And so they were willing to write it off as a coincidence. You know, saying some of the age-old things that, yeah, you know, when you make this many songs, coincidences are like bound to happen. Maybe your influences slip in. So I commented on it and I said, well, if it was a coincidence... Alright, see you later, Javid. If it was a coincidence, then we would only expect to see this kind of thing happen once in a while, and certainly not more than one by the same composer. However, you have Marble Zone, which clearly contains the main hook from Music to Watch Girls By. And then you have the Final Zone containing the Duran Duran riff, right? These are not just one-measure coincidences. They are... Right, so I didn't really editorialize. All I really did was just point out those other two examples. And yeah, you know, without devolving into a whole treatise on that, to say nothing of these individual podcasters that did that Quick Prince episode, knowing what I know about this topic, I would not be at all surprised if components like that would lead a person to just ghost. They don't want to touch it. In which case, what was the point of making the video in the first place? So again, I can't say that about these casters yet, but, you know, I worded my comment deliberately to not say like, oh, you need to care about this, and most people are too afraid to speak up about it. Ghost of Burb's taking off too. See you later, Ghost of Burb. But alright, what's the next on-screen segment? This. So this is a video about Shadow Generations that I had a negative reaction to, and I left a comment on it. And it's because the whole headline of this video is that Shadow needs to say goodbye. It's like, okay, goodbye. It's one of those semi-abstract things that you don't really know what he's saying until you click on the video. And that video is by Post Mesmeric, by the way, but you can't miss it. You search for Shadow Generations needs to say goodbye. And so the whole takeaway of that negative headline was to say, like, isn't Shadow 05 explicitly about confronting your past and leaving it all behind? And here we have Shadow Generations that's just totally disregarding that by rehashing and reinventing, you know, the member berries of Shadow's greatest hits. And you know, he does time and again say that he thinks highly of the game. He thinks it's good overall. But there's just something about the sneer in his voice, talking down to Sega and saying, oh, this was such a huge missed opportunity. You know, like he points out there's a part in Shadow Generations that recreates the classic race in space between Sonic and Shadow, but I think it's just a cutscene. It's not actually playable. And for him, this was the end of the world. He's like, dude, this is such a missed opportunity. How can you show us this iconic moment of Sonic and Shadow racing, but not make it playable? And it's like, well, this is just a Bowser's Fury mini-campaign. I personally, right, I think that everything that's said in that video about Shadow Generations is just a redundant, repetitive take on Sega makes Green Hill too much. I want more original zones like Press Garden the Hedgehog. You know, the idea that Shadow Generations is mostly, you know, recycled levels, story beats. I'm fine with it because, first of all, right, this is the company that gave us Sonic Lost World and Sonic Forces. Like, it's a video game. Yeah, I would want more of a forward-looking story, but first of all, we haven't had a Shadow game in forevs. So what it does is it introduces Shadow to a whole new generation of gamers that are just coming in. And so, being that it's been nearly 20 years since Shadow 05, right? That's like an entire lifetime. Well, not a lifetime, but like a full generation. A generation of kids, right? And to coincide with the movie, I think it would have been super awkward if Shadow Generations comes out in October. Can't you kill her by spin dashing? She gotta be on the ground, is that it? Cute little mini Eggman. I want the cool bonus. You guys saw that, right? There's really no reason why I shouldn't have chained a second hit on that. This final bit, it's not hard. So yeah, knowing how that the Sonic series was running on life support, barely kept alive in the 2010s, you know, to being that we're in this new revitalized golden age of the 20s for Shadow, 2020s. As much as I always resist member berries, I do think it was the way to go. I do think it was the way. It would have been too jarring to introduce all this new stuff for a new Shadow story, but then you go to the movie, and the movie is just reverting to the classic stuff. And hello, Marilyn from Italy. Hello and welcome. Greetings from Massachusetts. DeFox says it's strange to expect a completely new stuff from the Shadow DLC. Yeah, when the whole point of Generations is to revisit previous... There's another excellent point. Hello, it's Generations. It would have been bizarre if, you know, the re-release in 2024 of Generations is just all the classical zones and then what? Shadow's gonna have new levels? That's just, yeah, that's a good point. That makes no sense for Generations, especially. Alright, I got any more segments, man? I sure do. Cow Kangaroo is a smash hit, wasn't it? I'm gonna become a cow streamer now. I'm just kidding. But I'll absolutely stream it some more. I put that image on screen because the first screenshot you see at the bottom, that's actually from the reboot that came out in 2022. So I think the games came out like around the year 2000, give or take. But then they made the new reboot that's just called Cow the Kangaroo. And is it just me? Or does that box art scream Crash 4? It's about time. With the text on the logo. Let it be known, Gordon Freeman 64 has both Cow and Crash 4. My man. What do you think of the new Cow reboot? Because as for the Cow reboot, if you look at that screenshot quickly, that looks just like Spyro Reignited. And I mean, it really looks like it. Am I going backwards, man? Almost hit the spikes on the ceiling. Oh, yeah. I don't think there was anywhere to go. Where am I supposed to... It feels like I'm going... Yeah, I already got that. And is that a closed door? So, they're supposed to go up? Ah, Mania throws you a bone. Alright, I was supposed to go up. Wow, you can see the big robot in the background. I don't know if I ever noticed that. That's this game's version of the Death Egg robot. Now, the thing about Cal... God darn it. Hey, what's up, EB? EB feels like the Crash and Sane trilogy inspired revivals of similar platformers. And I'm all for that. I like Spyro Reignited, Crash and Sane. What's the main... Like, I feel like there's a game series that honestly deserves, logically, to get a redo like that. But they still haven't. I can't remember. And hello, Evie. There was a segment before that... I kind of touched upon something you had said, so maybe I'll go back to that shortly. Yeah, now Gordon says Banjo. Dude. Microsoft, that seems fully plausible. That's a good call. Serious Sam. Banjo needs his boot. Not even a reboot, just even if it was just some kind of remaster collection, I don't know. I would think maybe remaking Banjo-Kazooie would be a big deal. Not a big deal, I meant to say like a big undertaking. Somehow that just seems like kind of a particularly ambitious game to redo. And if people had so much of a problem remaking Sonic 3, I can only imagine what it would be like to redo BK. Well, okay, I forgot. That's true. We do, as EB and Gordon are saying, yeah, we do have the remasters on the 360. That's true. That is true. But those... Yeah, I guess they are full-bore... It's the same engine, right? But like a significant graphical upgrade. I forgot about those. I guess the main thing is that they're locked on the Xbox, what is it, 360 Live Arcade or whatever. And with the new era of this is an Xbox, that is an Xbox, it's about time to put it on all consoles. Alright, I didn't get sent far that back. Alright, and EB points out that they're also included in the Rare Replay, which is on Xbox One and Series X. Alright, so to be fair, there's a fair amount of VK availability on Bill Gates machines. But the other thing I wanted to show you about Cow is the timeline of the Cow series. So as you can see, it got off strong with Cow 1, Cow 2, Cow 3, Episode 1, Episode 2. Just kidding. But there was more than 2 games. But you can see there's a big gap in releases. So starting at the Obama era in 2016, there was no KO the Kangaroo games. Obama's second term, no Kangaroo games. Then you get to President Orange, no cow games. Finally, you arrive at President Naptime. And I guess President Naptime was enough to get them to finally reboot Cow. I don't think they ever released like a new collection of the games, but they of course are available on Steam. And I can't remember if the Cow 2 that I have definitely is a remaster. Yeah, EB saw this on Monday when I streamed Count 2. Yeah, this timeline. So yeah, it's cool that, you know, there's hope for these semi-obscure platformer series that went dormant for a while, but nice. JJ just finished the game with 178k. So the only question at this point is, can I even get to 100,000? But nice job, JJ. There's going to be a whole lot of points dispersed. We'll see who gets them, though. Please don't die. Yeah, EB says the Steam ports were just in 2023. Wow, so those are fairly new in the scheme of things. We're living in a KO Gold era, baby. Wow, that's a cool, difficult, narrow angle that you gotta get through there. This background is kind of giving me Chrome Gadget vibes. Those industrial smokestacks. Wow, what does JJ have? How did you get those stats? What? Do you have a modded Mania? I want that. I want a display of all my times. Is it just your times for each act? That's super cool. I want that. Yeah, Gordon says that the new reboot of Cow is currently on sale for $7. Oh yeah, and speaking of bucks, JJ had suggested that, you know, we could have a wager stakes where whoever loses the wager, me or JJ, has to give the other a gifted sub. But the problem with that is that I'm more broke than Sonic 3 Origins, so I don't have a gifted sub budget to toss around. And look, it's not like I'm almost on the streets, just that, you know, I live within my means. And also, I don't want a gifted sub to go to Sonic CD Speedrun archives or any number of people who don't actually show up. Okay, yeah, so JJ, right, and we were just talking about that the other day, about how many Sonic games actually track your time. And look, Mania does. So is that... How on earth do you get that information, JJ? How... I guess I don't... I'm hitting my classical Titanic Monarch wall, you guys. Losing patience with this level that I never particularly cared for. I just got an extra life. So yeah, I guess I might as well bring up the EB related... It's talking about the basketball analogy. Alright, JJ says, stick around until after the credits. I am amazed that was not known to me. Alright, let me bring up the basketball thing. Alright, there's the games done quick. Kind of talked about that in advance. I'm going to get a time over. Although, I think I should just let the time over go. And then will it respawn me at the checkpoint? Yeah, EB says it's semi-defeating when you gift a bunch of subs and only 1 or 2 people who watch somewhat regularly. Yeah, but then all that is totally true. And then another obstacle is, you know, then if you were to start giving them to specific people, then how do you decide? And is doing that going to eat away at paid subs that you would have had anyway? I don't know. Alright, so EB, I put together this ridiculous graphic. It's not a big gotcha moment. I again thank you, EB, for, you know, putting my opinions to the test. It's very valuable. I think you deserve a special thanks in the "You have experienced most of Sonic and Knuckles" video at this point. Okay? But, oh, you don't have an insta-shield. I'm so used to fighting this boss with an insta-shield. Okay, interesting. EB says that you can give gifted subs to individuals, but they have to be at the stream in order to click them. Now, DeFox, before I talk about the Hadron Particle Accelerator next to the basketball net as an attention grabber, DeFox says, would you like to see a remake of the classic Sonic games in 3D or HD 2D, or do you think it's pointless? Yeah, I wouldn't be against it. You know, there's part of me that here's a thought. You all know what my issues with Origins are, but in an alternate hypothetical, let's imagine for a moment if they didn't do Origins, but they instead did an HD remaster, kind of like Sonic 2 HD. Well, then I would be able to put it in context and be like, oh, well, this is the HD remake. It's not trying to be, you know, a quality of life version of the originals. It's just taking the original as a starting point and then doing its own thing. Yeah, EB says, go ahead. If you weren't fully understanding your analogy, you'd like to. And honestly, I think you were perfectly understanding my analogy. It's just you brought up a good point that I didn't quite know how to answer. But I thought about it a little bit. Okay, so I think one of the things EB had said about... Like, I started with the basketball metaphor of I'm not interested in seeing people exploit the game because it's like getting a ladder to do slam dunks. And then EB very fairly brought up the point that, well, hold on. It's not exactly like getting a ladder, because a ladder is just a cheap, cheesy way to get points, whereas what the people are doing requires great skill, practice, timing. All right? So I thought of a couple things. The image on the top is just kind of a joke. But the image on the bottom, right? It's an over-the-top way of... It's saying, like, okay, if the ladder is not a perfect analogy, then maybe a better analogy would be say, all right, we're hanging around, playing basketball, shooting hoops, and we are going to use complicated Hadron Particle Complicated Hadron Particle Accelerator physics, and we are going to use technology to manipulate space-time and do things that are normally not possible in the game of basketball. And I guess another way of saying that is, like, whenever you play a Sonic game, like, let's say you're playing a Sonic game, you go to Hydrocity, and you're playing the game... Could get these rings. You're playing the game, and it's almost as if it's understood that the game is just a metaphor for what's actually happening in-game, right? We play the game, it's the medium of a video game, and it's almost like what we're seeing here in the video game is almost like a digestible metaphor for what's actually right? This is depicting, you know, if Sonic was running through a real-life Hydrocity zone, what would that look like? What would Sonic be doing? Well, one thing Sonic would not be doing is clipping through walls and activating a glitch that suddenly speedily warps you to the end of the level, right? Those tricks only exist due to basically manipulating space-time in a way that has nothing to do with the actual level design, and it's more about the underlying code. So it's like when you know, maybe the Hadron Particle Accelerator isn't the best metaphor, but I guess the reason why I thought of... Am I going backwards? Whoa, what's this under Sonic? Little Eggman face? That's cool. It feels like I'm going backwards, but I guess not. The idea is that, sure, a Hadron... Damn it. A Hadron Particle Accelerator is super complicated, very difficult, very not straightforward. But if you use a Hadron Particle Accelerator to get more baskets, well, suddenly you're not playing basketball anymore. You're just using the game pieces of basketball. So I guess the way... If I went to a NBA game and they were using Hadron Particle Accelerators, I would say, well, hold on. I'm here to see LeBron do good dribbling. I'm here to see Shaq do good dunks. But now if you're going to use Hadron Particle Accelerators to get across the court quickly, or, you know, it's a very loose metaphor. I keep falling here. It's like, hold on, I'm here to see the game of basketball. And again, I don't mean to be, you know, what's the word? I'm definitely not saying that everyone has to agree with me on this right now, obviously. And that goes without saying for anything I say. But let's get in this car. EB thinks it's a good analogy. Maybe one of the other guys will disagree. I think the gray area comes in the idea that, like, if the Hadron Particle Accelerator is a really extreme analogy, well, the reason why that analogy doesn't translate perfectly to what we're talking about is because you could make the case that the things that you have to do in-game to clip through a wall or whatever, well, that does involve timing and angles and stuff, but it's like... It's almost, the way I think about it is, if it was going to be a Hadron Particle Accelerator, well, maybe that Hadron Particle Accelerator only works on very specific tiles on the court. You know, you go to the Boston Garden to see the Celtics, and it's one of those courts that the floor is, like, removable. You can remove the floor, and it reveals, you know, an ice rink underneath for hockey games. So imagine for a moment that after playing basketball the LeBron way and the Shaq way for 50 years, some guy discovers, oh, if you actually stand at a 45-degree angle on this specific tile at the Boston Garden, well, now you can get an instant layup. No problem. No athleticism required. So now, the gameplay that you see when you go to an NBA game, it's going to be dramatically different at times as caused by purely arbitrary, unintended factors, which, to extend that metaphor to the game, that would be, you know, oh, this specific wall here in Oil Ocean has some kind of glitch that was not caught, and now we're going to use that as an integral part of the sport. This is what the sport is now. DeFox thinks it's a solid analogy. Yeah, so I can only profusely thank EB because, you know, this very well make into the video. You have only... sorry. The unofficial working title is You Have Experienced Most of Sonic & Knuckles, but I'm not giving away the true title yet. You got me. Oh, nice. EB says where you differentiate when you're trying to empathize is categories that are important. Like when you see the Harlem Globetrotters, it's not going to be what you'd expect at a normal game, but there'll be some overlap. And you think both are good. Yeah, that's interesting. As far as the Globetrotters, yeah, so the Globetrotters, and again, I don't mean to hyperfixate on the specific details of an analogy, but thinking about the Globetrotters are basically like the WWE, where it's kind of just staged for spectacle. I mean, the white people that they play against, you know, they have low stats on purpose. I don't know if the Globetrotters ever lose games or not. Or if it's all just, you know, fully scripted. Yeah, do the Globetrotters have, like, a record they get to the end of the season and they're, 30-7, 30 wins, 77 losses. But I absolutely get what EB is saying, where it's like, let's use all the mechanics of basketball to put on, a sort of slightly exaggerated, larger-than-life show. Yeah, I totally get that. I totally get that. And also to connect it to EB's point the other day, I believe EB may have said that... Oh my god. Get off of these gimmicks. There we go. I believe EB may have said that, exploiting glitches and stuff is just one category. Along with, you got glitchful and glitchless, right? So... if someone is engaging with all those different play styles at different points in time, then that makes it a lot more understandable. I guess it's just looking at the glitches as like the main, most important way to play because it gets you the higher world records. Yeah, I just feel like there's plenty of speedrunners who are structuring their entire gameplay identity around glitches. And look, I say identity. I don't mean that I'm trying to chip away at the value of their resume. Because like AB was saying, that the things that they do certainly require a lot of effort and practice and precision. But here's another philosophical layer to this. I've never been one... I'm really only speaking personally at first when I say this. But I am really not ever interested in artificially practicing a level to get really, really good. You're experimenting with every possible maneuver to optimize it. Like... in some way, I can absolutely respect the art and science of figuring out those optimizations. And... oh god. Can you get more rings in this level? I think you sometimes get more rings. This... yeah, like... And I'm just thinking out loud, but I think my aversion to uber practicing an individual level over and over until you get... is because life adventures don't work that way. I like going on an adventure and using my knowledge of the moveset and maybe even somewhat the levels, right? But I guess what I'm not as on board with is like memorizing specific, like... hyper-specific inputs. That, again, I'm not saying no one should do it, but it's uninteresting to me to watch, maybe not to watch, but to structure my entire gameplay arc around that. It's just, you are totally kind of erasing the factor of like spontaneity and reaction time, because you know exactly what's you're just now playing an extended game of Simon Says, where you're just executing a memory. I don't know. I know it's micro controversial for me to say that, but like leaning on the crutch of hyper memorization is the kind of thing that will bite you in the yays in the long run, because it means you can't engage with a game enjoyably until you've done all this artificial, tedious research and experimentation. And I think there's something... when you... It kind of atrophies a certain layer of your gaming acumen. That, yeah, you will be helpless in a lot of games if you try to pick up and play them. It's like I don't know. I know sports might not be the best analogy, but with any good sport, as JJ has said in the past about Rocket League, in Rocket League, you are constantly, multiple times per second, making split-second evaluations that affect what you're going to do next. It's a organic, alive scenario, and so you just totally lose. That's why, again, me saying that about individual level training, that's mostly as a starting point, just talking about personal preference. But, I honestly think that, speaking personally, playing these games, the way that me and JJ do wagers, I honestly believe it helps to preserve the magic of the games. It helps to preserve the organic magic of, just going through these levels and not fixating on hyper-specific input memorizations to just be able to predict and know, right? I want to be going on an adventure where I'm, maybe sometimes I might figure out an optimal way to get through this or that part, but it's not always just going through the motions. All right, EB says that there's another YouTuber who only plays games that have speed runs, glitch runs. And EB 100% feels like people should get the vanilla experience first. Yeah, if they're gonna do that stuff, it should be after. Does this have credits for? I saw Falk. Oh, Young. Oh, here's plus. So is he gonna get a composer credit now? For plus? I think we're in the plus section. I want to see Falk's name. Sound, mastering, sound design. Huh. Yeah, I'm 99% sure that Falk Young did the encore mode Incredible Music. So I'm disappointed not to see him credited as a composer. Eblo confirms Falk did that song. Yeah, EB found a lot of similar journeys with this other view, which is why you felt the need to say something, because you used to feel there was no merit. All right, so you used to just totally write them off, disregard them as just meaningless. But yeah, I absolutely see the value in that. Let me put... Here's another thing I can boil it down to. Any exploit or glitch that you find in a game, right, you pretty much know for a fact that if the developers were aware of that exploit, that they would fix it to make sure you can't cheat the game. So, if you know for a fact, right, if there's 90% of walls in a game that you can, that just work perfectly, and then there's 10% of walls that you find a way to glitch through, it's like, well, you know full well that the game is supposed to have solid walls. So if you know for a fact that this wall in Metropolis is supposed to be just as solid as the rest, why would you knowingly spend your time altering the game for that arbitrary oversight, knowing full well that, I don't know, I'm kind of repeating. I know I beat this dead horse, but, yeah, and EB says that most runners who do glitch runs are also masters at the game proper. Yeah, and that would make sense. Eblo says, what is the best ending to a Sonic game? And why is it the Secret Knuckles ending in Mania? Ooh, we'll have to do a stream of that in the coming weeks. Knuckles run of this game. Maybe I never did that. JJ says, Mania's second half is really hard to do without taking a break. It's a long one. Yeah, it's definitely longer, I feel, probably, than the first half. Hey, it's this great tune. Friends? Did one of the hyper potions fall from grace? Probably shouldn't go there. Oh, okay. Vector thinks maybe Mr. Young was credited in Encore mode. Okay, yeah, I was honing in on plus, not knowing to look out for an Encore banner. Yeah, so JJ says, Ashura could clip through a lot of walls a month before Sage. Panic so hard trying to fix it, and there's still a 1% chance of wall clipping. Yeah, and Boogeyman, hello over on YouTube. Boogeyman agrees with me, and you're saying glitches kill games. Right? If you're a developer, right, to use JJ, let's say JJ as an example, let's say he developed Ashura the Glitch as a standalone game. He poured his heart into, making it balanced and fair and challenging and memorable and unique. And then he releases the game, and a year later, he starts looking at, YouTube VODs of people speedrunning it. And he finds that most speedrunners are using this exploit where they can completely skip minus Celsius zone, right? And so everything that JJ poured into minus Celsius zone totally goes to waste. And I think people are quick to discount, like, oh, developer intent is not the be-all, and you do whatever you want to do. The reason why that would be heartbreaking for JJ is not because what the developer says goes. It's because JJ developed a specific game, and they're not playing it. They're only playing, a reduced slice of the game. Boogeyman is, on the other hand, glad that people find ways to break a game. EB says it's not always glitches, though. Like Keo said last time, it can be Tech 2. Like, you can't get to Ridley's area in Super Metroid. But if you have enough health, you can wall jump well enough, you can skip past it. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with that, but that... See, that seems more like an intended option. If it's just a matter of health and wall jumping. And then Metroid games are a very unique animal because the developer has explicitly answered the question and say, yep, do whatever you can manage to do. I don't know if the wording was specifically do whatever you can manage to do, even if it's, an unintended exploit. But basically they gave their blessing for whatever. But what has always annoyed me about that is when you ask someone, you're talking about Metroid, and you say, oh, what's your time? And they say, oh, yeah, 55 minutes. But then they don't explain how they play. They just want to drop that number of 55, knowing you should know full... Oh, look at this. I forget about this. Throwback to Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And then is it going to show all my times? Man, look at that. Yeah, this music came back in, was it Team Sonic Racing? Yeah, Eblo says, speedrunning is essentially exerting effort to play as little of a game as possible. Well, in a way, but if... It all depends on the game. As I've said, probably repetitively, a game like Super Metroid, when you're speedrunning that, you're not, like, now trimming the amount. It's not like you're playing as little of the game. You're actually engaging with more of the game because using more special attacks can be converted to a better time. Platforming, routing, right? By speedrunning Metroid, you actually do dive more into the game's heart. You could make the case that when you just speedrun a Sonic game, yeah, you're disregarding certain design layers, and certainly if you're skipping stuff with glitches, but even if you're doing glitchless, no glitch, yeah, I don't think that well, let me see. Alright. Yeah, and as Boogeyman says, that's why there's categories. JJ's tried watching Metroid Prime speedruns, but with glitches, and it's a different game. It's a game of staying out of bounds and doing specific jumps. To skip the game, JJ wanted to see mastered. Cool, but not for me. Yeah, I think that stuff is totally fascinating as like a boundary break video, but not when you're sitting down to see someone excel at a video game and they are just using a hadron particle accelerator to do things that would never happen in the imagined world that's being metaphorically portrayed on the screen. DeFox knows about a particularly bad case in Sonic Origins, when you can skip from Mushroom Hill to Hidden Palace with no effort. Yeah, DeFox doesn't have fun doing that. And, oh, EB, yeah, so actually EB, get this, EB. So EB's asking when we were going to look at his pickups. It was going to be today, but I didn't get, it's one of the segments. So maybe that'll be on a segment next time we do segments, if that's all right. And EB says, what about skipping upgrades? Like in Metroid? Well, a big part of Metroid is routing. So you... Right. Upgrades. Well, that's worth talking about. But let me open up the song request, and then we can talk about that. Because today there's no plus, we are going to hop over to the Patreon stream channel, and I'm going to make so many announcements. It's insane. Totally unprecedented. Never done this before. Announce multiple projects all at once. But today we are. So, let's pay out the wager first and foremost. Don't want to forget to do that because it was 70,000 points betted on JJ's victory. And 30K from Keo, wow. And 32 from Eblo, wow. So that was not even Javit or Third Bruno. Look at you guys. Very cool. Wow, Gordon bet 7K. Okay, so Javit did give 10,000 points on my side. So that's the main pot that's being dispersed to you guys. Interesting, I see DeFox is listed as you predicted that I would win, but the points wagered is 0? How is that possible? How could you be showing up on that, having bet 0 points? Pardon me. Can you place a prediction in the system but no points associated? You just want to see if you get it right with no skin on the line? Let's pick JJ for the payout. And then we've got All right, we got a request from JJ today. Wow. Gordon Freeman, I'm seeing what you said. If you think it's okay to talk about on stream, Gordon Freeman 64, that topic about Sparky and Twitter, yeah, if you think it would be in good taste to talk about it, I'm all ears. But yeah, let me pull up JJ's request. But yeah, Gordon was alluding that something's been happening with Sparky on Twitter. And I would not be opposed to talking about it if you think we can do so in a way that's tasteful. Okay. Oh, JJ. Okay, so JJ hasn't sent the request yet. So you can go ahead and send that, JJ. And yeah, so wow, fascinating. DeFox says that in your country, Twitch says you can't use points for votes. You can only vote. Wow, so that's got to be because of, like, strict gambling rule. It qualifies it, right? So just to drive the point home, that's, remarkable that where DeFox lives, that you cannot so much as bet a fake currency. But if you guys have seen the CoffeeZilla video about underage gambling with, Counter-Strike 2, and to hear about all the gut-wrenching, slimy ways that they have a workaround loophole to get around and continue doing it. Oh, and EB says that's why Minecraft is getting sued. So is Minecraft caught in some kind of, loot box controversy type of thing? Yeah, so Gordon and JJ, again, I don't mean to be a drama tuber, but if it would be worthwhile to talk about, Gordon said that something notable is going on with Sparky over on Twitter. I actually had to unfollow Sparky, and it's not because of a big grudge or anything. I just think he's kind of a toxic person, and I needed to tap out for a while. Eblo wonders if it's about Twitter dragging the 8-hour video. What does that mean, drag? Like dunk on it, or? Look, I'd dunk on that video, but I would never, make it harassment or anything. Okay. I think I found it. All right, yeah, JJ says that Sparky's video was discussed in the topic of long YouTube essays. This is it, right? Yeah, so I didn't mean to put words in Gordon Freeman's mouth. It's just he used the word Civil War. Civil War. Evlo says, Gordon Freeman can't speak. Vector is identifying this as a WarioWare song. Vector's got it. Smooth moves. Right on the money. JJ confirms. Vector got it. Do-do-do. No problem, Gordon. So is it pretty much just a matter of Sparky's video long? Is there at least one person who supported it, and at least one person that was saying disparaging things? Approach the new sky. That sounds like a translated lyric. Approach the new sky. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue. Close. Just as the song ends, but it's gonna loop. Vector thinks that Donkey Kong Country 2 speedruns strike a good balance, especially 100% runs. You have to do tight, good movement, but you also do perform wrong warps. To skip portions of levels. Yeah, sorry, I was on the outside looking in of the OOB. Is that Ocarina of Time? Good night, everybody. Yeah, JJ doesn't think he's ever expressed his love of the WarioWare series. Smooth Moves is your favorite. Nice. Oh, did I pause this by accident? Sorry. Let's cut to the micro game. So Eblo is not dunking, but is just speaking from the perspective of someone who isn't into any video game essay content. If you have 8 hours to spare, you could just as easily play through Sonic CD yourself multiple times to form a fully realized evaluation yourself. Again, I'm not exactly the champion of Sparky's video, however, playing Sonic CD requires your full attention, undivided, pretty much. Whereas Sparky's video, you can at least just have it on passively while you play a game or do chores. So, wow, look at what we're looking at. The shift in graphics is jarring. What the hell is this? Oh, well, this is like a style like sketched. But the different graphical type of polygons is throwing me off. Vector had explained that a wrong warp is when you trigger a glitch that causes the game to think you completed the level when you haven't. Okay. Does it warp you out then? Yeah, so EB says, sometimes you have a lot of feelings on something and you really want to get it out there, immortalized. Or you're tired of telling every person you talk to why you care about something and you want to put it down in a digestible space. I totally get that, and I guess I could say that about, my Sonic 3 and Sonic CD music theory videos. I can definitely say it about, my long form essays. Like the Sopranos video, I gotta tell everyone about what I see in the show, how I experience it, the dots that I connect. I can't sit on all this exciting information. Ultimately, I gotta tell the world. And I kind of have felt that Cybershell has used similar language to describe specific video projects that he's done. Third Bruno knows that this here Wario game was a riot. Third Bruno's never played any of the other ones, though. Yeah, like the 25% video, one thing that it serves is just a convenient thing where someone comes into a live stream and I ask, does anyone have a good way of dealing with the Metropolis Act 3 boss? And then the person in the audience says, oh, just collide into it, lose your rings, get it over quickly. Ah, okay. Rather than bore everyone on this stream by explaining all my 25% stuff, just go watch the video. Classic. Yeah, EB has a desire to make a video in that vein. So you're thinking of making a video, EB? I was thinking, talking with you at our weekly hangouts. I was like, if EB was a content creator, I would watch his stuff. He's got them insights. Evlo got thinking about the 3DS WarioWare game, where Wario draws crappy art of Amiibo, except for his own, which gets detailed artwork. Yeah, WarioWare is a big gap in my resume. Interesting, EB has been wanting to make content for a long time. You just have a problem with motivation. And yeah, EB is saying maybe I have some tips or conviction. So I have so many secrets of the craft that I figure eventually I gotta just give them all to JJ at a minimum. And yeah, in terms of motivation for making content, nothing comes to mind. And if anything I have to say on that topic will not be encouraging today in the moment, so I'll bite my tongue on that for now. But yeah, we ought to talk about that. Maybe in the cart hangouts about, if you're inclined to talk about it at that time, like what's kind of your thought process. Yeah, EB is impressed with my conviction when it comes to 5% of the day. And I was talking about that earlier today. The workflow that I used, right? Doing the Metallic Madness video was the first time that I did those daily just production log notes about how much did I experience. Here I'm talking about percents. My mind goes to experience. How much I worked on for that day, and it worked exceptionally well. So I will absolutely continue doing it. And I'll start chronicling that on the Discord soon. Once I 100% decide which video is definitely next. And I'll talk plenty. Whoa, what are we looking at? This is like one of those avant-garde episodes of South Park where anything goes. JJ loves these screens where the different poses are explained. And JJ says it's really funny with audio. Wow, here's what? Da Vinci's Legacy? Boiled down to a micro game in a game where Wario can wipe his A's. Isn't there at least one Wario game where Wario can pick his nose and wipe his ass, you know? Vector Sater is clarifying his wrong warp definition, saying it's more generally when you go to a new location, a bug or glitch would cause you to go somewhere completely different. Yeah, I've always wondered about the glitches where you just start moving to the right, like super fast, flipping through all walls. JJ says picking noses is a common theme in WarioWare. But yeah, you would be amazed how much tracking your daily productivity helps, because if you're not really keeping track of how much work you're doing, things could go fine, but it can also feel like sometimes you get to the end of a day and you can't really feel confident that you definitely made a ton of progress. It's hard to explain, but you don't have a lot of specifics about how much work is left. So you can get to the end of a day if there was one scene that was a little bit tricky, took longer than maybe just an optimal execution, right? But the thing with, if you were to track let's say EB had a daily goal of 1 hour per day. That means that each time you sit down to work, you just have to do your 1 hour. And it doesn't matter if you're doing 1 hour of really complicated, creative-heavy stuff, or if it's a day where you're super tired, you just do 1 hour of some of the easy grunt work that doesn't require much thinking or strategy. As long as you're getting in the hour, it doesn't matter what it is. But at the end of that hour, you can say, yep, I hit my goal. So I know that what I just did today, whether it was ninjutsu, that's like Shinobi 3. Anyway, I'm rambling. Alright, Cart. EB might not be with us for Cart this week, but at some point, yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah, and EB said like a progress bar. Interesting. Yeah, and that's pretty much what I did for Metallic Madness. I had approximated how many hours it would take to finish it, but for Metallic Madness, I under-predicted how long it would take. Like, if my prediction was at 100%, it actually took like 125%, but, you know, it was a 20-minute video, plus more elaborate than normal, because it was a momentous Sonic CD video, so... JJ says these games are a laugh, a pure joy, from the surreal art to the humor, to the Nintendo references in the 9-volt stages. And interesting, Boogeyman had said, when you get hit in Sonic, you feel like you failed the level. So, in a way, you kind of did, because that's the way that I think about it. It's like, whenever I sit down to play Sonic 3, and I get to Ice Cap Act 2, I start the level being like, well, I know for a fact that I can beat this level taking no hits, because I've done it lots of times before. But can I do it today? Can I do it today with the pressure of this good run that I've built up so far up until Ice Cap Act 2? And if I were to then take a hit in Ice Cap Act 2, it's like, damn it, this level beat me today. I think taking a hit in a specific level like that can be extra devastating if you're just trying, right? Like, when I first started the Discord, there was a person who was, you know, playing games for score like me, and this person would sit down to play, and they're like, today I'm fully set on getting my highest score ever. So I'm going to comb through Angel Island to get every last ring and this and that. So then you're halfway through the game and you make a major mistake. Anyway, this is all covered in my 20... Whoa, that was hilarious! Poor girl got pushed back. She didn't deserve that, question mark? And she looked still happy while getting shoved. Like her face expression, going frame by frame, still happy, still having a good time, still even more happy now. Like, she's into it. That's all I'm saying. She's into it. And then the kid goes to school and says, "Want to play WarioWare? Let's go find a girl to surprise." Yeah, EB is more impressed with any video maker after trying it yourself. Yeah, JJ says, imagine if that's a member of the dev team. Look at these 3D graphics. It's like vaporwave, unsettling, but in a way that, because it's unsettling, it's hilarious and great. Evie wonders if this is smooth moves, and it sure is. Look at this 3D gameplay, jeez. Driving on the wrong side of the road, says Eblo. Depending on where this game is set. And hello, Shadow Ops. You're just in time for, unfortunately, the end of the stream. I am going to hop over to the patron-only channel, though, to make more than one major announcement, which is nuts. Simply nuts. Excuse me. JJ could easily pick this up for a quid in order to stream it one night. There's potential there. Eblo wonders, what is a quid? Is that a de facto... Is that the closest equivalent? Okay, yeah, it's a pound. It's exactly that. Shadow Ops wonders if this is WarioWare 3D. This is WarioWare Smooth Moves. But it has some 3D moments. Yeah, Eblo wonders, is it like how Americans say buck instead of dollar? Yeah, there's so many nicknames for dollars. A clam, a bone. They're not nearly as common as buck, but... Yeah, I remember, as much as I love the White Stripes and Jack White, during one of the White Stripes tours, when they were touring through Europe, Jack White goes, "I'm changing my name to 3 quid for the rest of this tour." That's just lame and bordering on pretentious. I am 3 quid. JJ says clams. JJ never heard that from money. Yeah. 40,000 clams. I'm 99% sure that I didn't imagine that. Let's see. Slang for dollar. Buck, Simoleon, Finn, Fiver, 10-spot, Dixie, Sawbuck, Tenner, Bacon, Benjamins, Hunnet, Megabucks, Ka-ching. Clams. Oh, I'm gonna lose my entire reputation if clams is not a thing. Google, do you call money clams? Yes, beginning a run of old-timey slang that would have been popular among 1920s bootlegging gangsters, the word clam was probably used as a term for a dollar, based on the practices of using shells as currency seen in ancient societies and some Native American tribes. Alright, yeah. And even the AI overview is in on it, saying, I only made 60 clams a week. Karen raised my rent by 100 clams. There it is. Clams confirmed. Yeah, and then I see talk of pence. Pence is like little coins. Alright, so pence. That sounds like a resident of the United Kingdom making an adorable attempt to pronounce the word pennies. Pence. Pence. I'm just kidding. Wow, Shadow Ops thinks that clams was the currency used in the Flintstones. Dude, this is random, but maybe this will be kind of my last major nugget of thought to contribute to you guys, okay? So, I know only some of you use Twitter. Twitter, I just noticed this today. I don't know how long this feature has been available. If you send a tweet, I don't know if it's only for my tweet or anyone's tweets, but there's a little button. It's like for Grok, which is Twitter's AI system. Okay? You click on the little Grok AI button, and it gives you supplemental info generated by AI. So look, it's not super different maybe from the, the auto-generated AI stuff that you get on, like, Google as the first result. Okay? But I shared that picture that I showed recently on stream. Remember I showed you guys that it was a Sonic CD arcade cabinet? It was a custom arcade cabinet someone made that just had Sonic CD. So, I had used that as an on-screen segment maybe 2 weeks ago. But I just, yesterday or today, shared it on Twitter. And when I shared it on Twitter, I just wrote a brief description. Sonic CD custom arcade cabinet. And then I credited the Facebook account that I got it from, okay? So then I click on the Grok button. And so what Grok does is it identifies specific terms and gives you an explanation. It says Sonic CD is a 93 platform game in the Sonic series developed by Sonic Team, all that. And then it looks at Sonic 1992's Game Room and Museum. And it says that is likely a venue or collection dedicated to nostalgic gaming. And then it's even got the Facebook logo, which I did get that from a Facebook account. So I think Grok figured that out on its own, because I didn't say Facebook, okay? But here's the kicker. I had written a follow-up tweet that said, "Who's that to the left of the Sonic CD cabinet? Kirkhope jump scare, LOL." Because immediately to the left of that Sonic CD arcade cabinet was like a cardboard stand-up for Banjo-Kazooie. So what does Grok say about my jump scare bit? The mention of Kirkhope jump scare refers to a humorous surprise or sudden appearance, akin to a jump scare in horror media, involving Grant Kirkhope, a well-known video game composer famous for his work in Banjo-Kazooie. This is a playful nod, suggesting an unexpected or surprising element related to Kirkhope in the image or context. So, it seems simple on one. It's just like, oh, well, it sees what a jump scare is, and it recognizes the name Kirkhope, and it's able to give you all that. It's, Honestly, I was saying this the other day. I watched that Knowledge Husk video where 2 years ago he was saying, yup, AI art is coming and it's going to be able to do everything perfectly. And just the other day he released a video that walked it back. He's like, maybe I over-exaggerated the potential of AI. Honestly, you ask Alex Yard today, January 2025, I still think that AI has the potential to do any and everything that a human can do, if not 5, 10 times better. Heblo says, has Grant Kirkhope been famous for anything since Banjo-Kazooie? I really don't think any individual game that he worked on came anywhere near to the heights of Banjo-Kazooie. For better or worse, most of Grant Kirkhope's resume after BK is just other Rareware games. And then I guess Hat in Time and, of course, Yooka-Laylee. Gordon Freeman knows Yooka-Laylee. Alright, JJ says we're now starting to get AI-generated subtext. Apply this to your messages you receive and boom, people are going to change the way they word things. Shadow Ops is going on record to say that he's not a fan of artificial intelligence. He's taking a principled stand. Was this another pushing minigame? Oh wow, this guy gets pushed too? Let's see if he likes it. Yeah, so that face is more what you'd expect of getting shoved. But yeah, we are going to wind down now, but only to wind up for the patron-only stream. Yeah, DeFox says, AI scares you in the case of replacing creativity of real people someday. So I, have tons of thoughts on that I won't dive into that tangent now. But part of the... So earlier in the stream, I was asking if... if Gerald Robotnik went crazy for more reasons than just Maria dying, I had this memory in my head that someone here in chat said that Gerald went insane and lost his sanity, not just because Maria, but also because of all the horrors he witnessed in all of his experiments, like his bio experiments. And when I think about the horrors of biological weapon experiments in Metroid, and how jarring and horrific that can be, like that I start to wonder if that's maybe part of what drove Gerald insane. Like, he saw too much. Not necessarily that he flew too close to the sun, but he learned horrific things about existence and biology and biochemicals that he was just unprepared for. And he couldn't process. He went crazy. JJ says... Okay, JJ thinks maybe what I'm remembering is when you pitched your Gerald performance to me initially, JJ adds, he knew too much, seen too much, and started to foresee the future. Alright, but that's your, logical, but it's headcanon, in other words. EB says it's Maria's death, unless there's something in Shadow of 5 interesting. EB says in SA2, it's just Maria. Evlo's theory is that Gerald just saw Sonic Underground. You can't unsee Sonic Underground. It's a point of no return. Interesting. EB says there's an interesting debate on whether his DKC3... the soundtrack on the GBA version was better or worse than the original. Now, of course, the OG DKC3 wasn't David Wise. Maybe he did, one song. So yeah, it was. I've listened to both. In fact, I know we got to go, but the GBA version of DKC3 that David Wise did, for a while, that was my, go to sleep soundtrack. I think the main sticking point with it was that there were remixes of previous. I just wanted new songs. Alright, EB was getting David Wise and Kirk Hope. Yeah, so David Wise definitely did that GBA one. Alright, I think we should, as much as I'm enjoying this, we're going to have more enjoyment at the Patreon Zone. So I'll see you all Saturday for Forging Ahead in Dark Souls, organic gameplay. You're here with me for the ride. And then Chaos Island, that'll be cool. And see what the vibe with Chaos Island is. If it's a dead vibe or just people aren't feeling it, we don't necessarily have to do Chaos Island for the full 2 hours, but maybe we will, I don't know. Shadow Ops doesn't approve of the experience a person has with tinnitus, and I share that view. But yeah, I may see some of you at the Patreon stream, but I'll say goodbye to everyone who's here, regardless of whether they're also going to be at the Patreon stream, and that is, of course, EB, Eblo, Vector Sater, JJ, Gordon Freeman, and DeFox. And everyone else who's watching in chat. Third Bruno. Maybe see you at the Patreon stream. Vector Sater, I think I said goodbye to. And yeah, everyone else watching. Jack Griffith, thanks for tuning in. Yeah. You're very welcome, DeFox. Always great to have you. Gordon Freeman, thanks for the memories. Take care, everybody. And I'll see you in a matter of a couple minutes for the Patreon stream. Thanks to JJ for the request. Goodbye, Shadow Ops and Jack Griffith. And that's everyone who's watching on YouTube right now. Thanks to everyone who watched the VOD.